I'm going to show you how to make regular lines look like they're glowing and illuminating a darkened base map. Here's an imagery base map, and here is a line layer showing the migration paths of storks. Not only do I want to make these lines look like they're glowing a little bit, but I also want them to illuminate the base map. How do you do that? Job 1 is to make the base map look a little nighttime-y. So I'm going to go to Living Atlas and add Hillshade Dark. And then I'll blend this dark hillshade into my imagery base map using the overlay blend mode. And this has an effect of deepening the colors and the terrain, but not quite enough. So what do? I'll just duplicate this layer a couple of times by holding the Control key and dragging it. And this makes our base map nice and dusky. Next, I'll open the symbology panel for my line layer, and I'm going to choose a gradient stroke, and I'll make it really thick, like 80 points thick. And then I'll open up the color scheme editor, and I'm going to make it white to white, and I'll add a stop right in the middle, 50%, and then the outer stops I'm going to make 100% transparent, so that we just have a bit of white in the middle that fades out to nothing. And it looks, kind of crazy like this. And then I'll just give this layer a blend mode of overlay, which has the effect of brightening up the underlying imagery where the data is. And we've kind of created like a little illumination effect. And just like the nighttimification of our base map, if the effect isn't strong enough, just duplicate the layer. And in this case, with the second layer, I'll make it about half as thick. And I like how that looks. And then, by golly, if it's too much, you can fine tune it by just cutting its opacity, in this case by 50%. Now that we have our base map and illumination the way we like it, let's make another copy of these migration lines. This time, we'll just focus on the line features themselves and get rid of the transparency and the blend mode. And I'm just gonna make the symbology a simple line stroke for now. 1 point, white, and it looks like this. But on the theme of illumination, I want to make these lines look like they're crackling lightsabers. So I'll go into the Structure tab and add a wave effect to this layer. And then I'll just duplicate it a couple of times. And then back in the layers, I can make that wave a random, erratic sort of look and increase its amplitude and its period, which is wave height and wave length. And I'll do the same thing for the others. And I'll make them a very light color, in this case light blue, and I'll make it 50% transparent. And similarly, I'll give it a randomized waveform and then play with its width and height. And I'll do the same thing for this last layer with a slightly different color and a slightly different waveform. And lastly, I'm going to apply a blend mode to this layer, but not a layer blend, a feature blend of screen. And this will have the effect of stacking up areas of lightness so they appear brighter overall where there's a lot of overlap. And that is a sneaky way of making features look like they're casting light down onto their base map, if you're into that kind of thing.